Tony Stewart just said something that nobody in NASCAR saw coming, and it happened less than a week ago, right after the entire racing world was still grieving the sudden loss of Kyle Busch. People are calling it cold. People are calling it heartless. And right now, thousands of fans are asking the same question: is Tony Stewart actually done with NASCAR? And is he ever going to say, sorry? Stick with me, because what he said and what happened after is something every NASCAR fan needs to understand before this story spirals even further. Before we go any further, if you care about real NASCAR updates, the kind that actually matter and not just clickbait, hit that subscribe button right now, because stories like this one move fast, and you do not want to miss what happens next. So here is why this matters right now. Kyle Busch, one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history, passed away on May 21st after a sudden and brutal battle with pneumonia that turned into sepsis. He was only 41 years old. He had just been racing days before. He had just been laughing with his son Brexton at a go-kart track. And then, almost overnight, he was gone. The entire racing community went into shock. Tributes poured in from drivers like Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Fans lit up social media with old race clips, old interviews, old memories. It felt, for a few weeks, like NASCAR had finally come together in grief. Then Tony Stewart opened his mouth, and everything changed. Stewart, who raced alongside Busch back in 2008 at Joe Gibbs Racing, was asked at an NHRA event in Bristol about how Busch should be remembered. Instead of a tribute, instead of a heartfelt story, Stewart let out something raw and angry. He basically told fans that they were hypocrites, that people only wanted to celebrate Kyle Busch as a person after he died, when those same people spent years judging him harshly while he was alive. He did not hold back. He called that part of the fan base ugly names live on camera, and he made it clear he was not interested in pretending to grieve the way everyone else was. Now here is where it gets messy. Instead of cooling things down, his comments lit a fire. Fans who were already heartbroken over losing Busch felt like Stewart was attacking them during their lowest moment. Articles started popping up everywhere with headlines demanding an apology. And so far, Stewart has not given one. Not a soft statement, not a quiet walk back, nothing. He has stayed completely silent since the backlash exploded. This is the mistake so many public figures make, and it is the same mistake Stewart seems to be repeating right now. When emotions are already high, especially around death and grief, timing matters just as much as truth. Stewart might have had a point buried somewhere in his anger. The idea that people should appreciate others while they are still alive, not just after they are gone. But the way he delivered it, with insults aimed directly at grieving fans, turned a possibly fair message into a public relations disaster. And that is exactly the kind of mistake that creates real consequences. Reputation damage does not heal overnight. Once a clip like this goes viral, it gets clipped, reposted, and reacted to for weeks. Sponsors notice, networks notice, and fans, the same fans who once cheered for Stewart, start asking whether they even want him representing the sport anymore. This is why some are now wondering out loud if Stewart is quietly distancing himself from NASCAR altogether, even though nothing official has been confirmed. So what is the lesson here for Stewart and honestly, for anyone watching this play out? Grief makes people sensitive, and silence after backlash often gets read as arrogance, even when that is not the intention. A short, sincere acknowledgement early on almost always does less damage than weeks of silence, followed by growing outrage. Right now, the ball is in Tony Stewart's court. Does he address it, soften it, explain it, or does he stay quiet and let the internet decide the story for him? Either way, this is far from over, and the NASCAR world is watching closely. If this story keeps you on edge, wondering what happens next, make sure you are subscribed, because the moment Stewart says anything new, you will hear it here first.